I happened to watch this Imam Tom, and I'm sorry to say that the venom that he has been spitting against secularism, that is a recipe for disaster. And it seems it's very strange thing that many mullah or clerics they take shelter in the Western secular countries. They freely preach their religion, they talk about their ideas, they have freedom of expression. But even then, the system, secularism that has provided them this all, they spit venom against it. The same is the case with Imam Tom and many Pakistani mullahs, Indian mullahs, mullahs in the UK and Europe and America and Canada and many other parts of the world. They also spit venom um, against secularism. In reality, Europe has concluded, and of course, they had to face a bitter reality. In the past, naturally, there have been terrible wars in the name of religion. Roman Catholic and Protestant had terrible wars, and in cases, John Calvin was accused of literally roasting people in the name of religion. Whenever Catholic came into power, they persecuted Protestant, and when Protestant came into power, they did the same thing with them. And so it's not understandable as to what Imam Tom want. Does he want a religious state? So, what happened in Spain when there was a religious state? They kicked out Muslims, they kicked out Jews, forcing Muslims and Jews to convert to Christianity. This is the type of the government he wants. The reality is that there has never been any secular government. Even the state of Medina that they talk about, sorry, there has never been any religious government in the history of mankind. Even the Medina state that they talk about, in reality, it was a secular state because Muhammad, peace be upon him, gave complete freedom to all residents of that state, including Jew. There was not any word of partial freedom, as many mullah now say that non-Muslim cannot preach their religion. It is because of secularism that you have a large mosque in the United States, in Canada, in Europe. You have preaching group, World Islamic Mission, Tablighi Jamaat, or preaching group of Raivan, Dawat Islami, a Karachi-based organization. They are preaching all over the world. So what emerges in the name of religion is not a religious state, because at least a religious state would allow all the followers of one religion to follow their religion, but that's not the case. For instance, Iran is a religious state, but can you name any Sunni in Shura and Nigeban or Guardian Council, that is one of the highest decision making bodies? In the same way, during the decade of 1990s, more precisely in 1996, when Taliban came into power, they carried out the massacre of Shiite. They did not like Barelvis, and you could not name any Shiite in the Taliban Shura of that time, headed by Mullah Omar. In the same way, the type of government that we have had in Saudi Arabia for decades, it was essentially a non-Hanafi government, which did have influences of Imam Hanbal, maybe Shafi'i and Malik to some extent, but they did not like Hanafi, they did not like Shiite, they did not like Deobandis. So there was not any Shiite or Deobandi or Barelvi in the Shura of Saudi Arabia. In the same way, Vatican City, you could see in Vatican City, it is dominated by the Catholic. So there are no Protestant, Calvinist, Lutheran, Presbyterian, or any other from any other sect. So what we need to understand that secularism does not amount to making people atheists. Secularism is not atheism. This is what the propaganda of Maulana Maududi, this is what the propaganda of Dr. Israr and other mullahs, and Imam Tom is also following those traditional mullah, and he's spitting venom against secularism. If religious government should be there in Islamic State, then does Imam Tom also want such religious governments in other non-Muslim countries. So if Hinduism or if fanatical elements within Hinduism say that Muslims should be treated like Malich or Shudar or Dalit, so does Imam Tom want more than 200 million Muslims living in India to be relegated to the status of Dalit? Does he want Muslim living in Europe to be relegated to the status of heretic? Because naturally, if there is a Christian government, then it would not allow any freedom. We have already seen when Christianity was on its peak, when there was papacy, when there was the government of Christian priest. Muslim did not have religious freedom. Jews did not have religious freedom. Pagans were persecuted. Even the Christians, of different sects were persecuted. So secularism simply says that you want to go to your church, your synagogues, your mosque, your temples, your gurdwara, your fire worshipping place, you're allowed to go. So a system that allows everyone to practice his or her religion, it cannot be atheism. This was the fallacy of Maulana Maududi. This was a false claim of Maulana Maududi, Maulana Qutub, Dr. Israr, and other guys. And unfortunately, Maulana Imam Tom is also following the same line. He is sitting in a secular country. If he wants to preach, go and preach in Vatican City. Then you will see what is a religious government all about. Why doesn't he go and preach in Saudi Arabia and Iran and Afghan Taliban government? So in Afghan Taliban government, even the people of the same religion do not have equal rights now, and they did not have equal rights during the decade of 1990s. So what will emerge in the name of religion will be a sectarian government. So for instance, if the people putting on white turban, if they come into power, they will want everyone to put on white turban. Those who are putting on black turban, they might want everyone to put on black turban. Those who are putting on green turban, they would want everyone to put on green turban. It seems that Imam Tom has not read the fatwas of these all mullah against one another. They are so intolerant that Imam Bukhari, the son of Imam Hanbal, Abdullah bin Hanbal, and other people, they described Imam Abu Hanifa as heretic. They said that he was zindiq, he was infidel. And in the same way, Imam Bukhari had to flee at one point. In the same way, there are fatwas of infidelity or Islamic decrees of infidelity against Maulana Maududi, Maulana Ahmad Raza Khasa Barelvi, Maulana Qasim Nana Tavi, Rashid Gangohi, Sajid Mir, and Sajid Naqvi, every prominent mullah. So, what will happen if there is a religious government? If you want to run a government, if you want to impose something, you need two things. Number one, consensus, and number two, force. So, in worldly matter, we can develop consensus that education should be free for everyone, health facility should be accessible to all people, pure drinking water should be a right, unemployment should not be there, and government should provide employment, shelter should be the responsibility of the government. We can develop consensus on it. But if Imam Tom is, let's say, a Wahhabi, and if his friend is, let's say, Barelvi, and he's a die-hard Barelvi, and if he has divorced his wife and say that he will do halala, and if Imam Tom is Ahle Hadith or Wahhabi, Imam Tom might likely to say that this amounts to, uh, committing adultery, or this is like prostitution. What will Imam Tom's friend do the next moment? Imam Tom might say, oh, these are petty issues. These are not petty issues. Most of the Wahhabis and Deobandis believe that if you say Ya Ali, Ya Ghaus al Madad, Ya Rasulullah, it means you are trying to share the authority of God. You are sharing the authority of God for Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam or Ali or others. So they consider them mushrik or polytheist. So it means that more than 100 million Barelvis or maybe more than 300 million, because there are people in Turkey, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in India, maybe in Indonesia as well, although majority is Shafi in Indonesia. There are pockets of Barelvis all over the world. They are non-Muslims. In the same way, Barelvi says that since Deobandi do not believe or do not consider Muhammad, peace be upon him, to have ilmul ghaib or the divine knowledge, or what will happen in the future, so that's why they are infidels, they are out of Islam. In the same way, Barelvi and Deobandi have differences with Wahhabis or Saudis over the issue of Taraweeh, over the issue of divorce, and so many other issues. And then, of course, these all bunch, can gang up and they can declare Shiite. They have already declared Shiite non-Muslims. So, in that case, if you don't have secularism, you have anarchy, you have bloodshed, you have killing, you have sectarianism. So, Imam Tom, before spitting venom against secularism, he should understand the background of secularism. He should try to find out why Europe concluded that religion should be a private matter of an individual. The relationship between heart and God could be described as religion. What is in Imam Tom's heart, I do not know. What is in my heart, he does not know. So let it be a private matter. The moment you make religion a social issue, the moment you try to impose it, there will always be bloodshed, there will always be anarchy. So he must try to avoid it, and he must stop spitting venom against secularism.